Will UAB be blazing hot, or will the Mountaineers be able to take out UAB on Saturday? Stay tuned. I'll let you know what I think. What is up, college sports fans, fellow members of Mountaineer Nation? This is Coos, and I'm coming to you straight from the hills of wild and wonderful West Virginia, and this is Coos' Corner. Before I get into the topic of the show, I want to ask, if you haven't yet, please hit the red subscribe button for me. Please give me the thumbs up if you like this video, and please don't forget to share this with your friends who like college sports. Now let's get on with the show. Looking at the game between the West Virginia Mountaineers and the University of Alabama-Birmingham Blazers in college basketball coming up on Saturday, December the 18th at 5 p.m. The odds of this game, ESPN has UAB actually favored to win the game with a 64.5% chance to win, and West Virginia with a 35.5% chance to win. As of the recording of this video, the Vegas odds have not been released yet. Ken Palm actually has these two teams right neck and neck in their ratings on the season. One team is at like 44th and the other one's at like 45th or something. I don't remember the exact numbers, but I do remember they were one spot apart, and both were in the 40s. But when you look at the game, it's two evenly matched teams, two teams who love defense. In a schedule comparison, UAB, their key losses are to South Carolina, who obviously is a Power 5 team from the SEC, and to San Francisco, who happens to be undefeated on the season. They're 10-0 right now, so San Francisco's a good basketball team out of the West Coast Conference. And then the biggest win for UAB on the year has been to St. Louis. West Virginia, on the other hand, they're coming into the game at 9-1. And I forgot to tell you, UAB is 9-2 on the year. But West Virginia is 9-1. Biggest win is over 15th ranked UConn at home. And then they've also beaten Clemson, who's a Power 5 team out of the ACC. Their only loss on the year being to Marquette out of the Big East, and who is a pretty good team. Look at some team stats for this game. West Virginia is at 69.8 points per game. UAB is at 82.7. Points against, West Virginia is at 60.7. UAB is at 60.9. Field goal percentage, West Virginia 45, UAB 46.8. Rebounds per game, West Virginia is at 33.2. UAB is at 38.5. Assists, West Virginia is 11.6 per game. UAB is 14.1. Blocks per game, West Virginia 5.3. UAB 5. Steals per game, West Virginia is at 8.9. UAB 13.1. And then winning streak, West Virginia has won 6 games in a row. UAB has won 4 games in a row. Let's look at some team stats that aren't on that list that might play a key role in this game. You've got West Virginia shooting 45% from the field. UAB shooting 46.8%, so UAB shoots slightly better. From 3, you've got West Virginia shooting at 31%, UAB at 35%, so they're again shooting better from 3 as well. UAB is averaging 11 turnovers a game. West Virginia is turning it over about 12 a game. UAB is 29th in the country in field goal percentage defense. They're averaging their opponents are only shooting 38.17% from the floor against UAB, whereas West Virginia is 22nd in the nation. West Virginia is 227th in the country in that category. They are allowing their opponents to shoot 43.26% from the floor. So that's a stat right there that West Virginia needs to improve on big time coming into this game. They've got to play better defense on shooters. UAB is third in the nation in forcing turnovers at 21.18 a game. But West Virginia does a good job of that on their own. But West Virginia is 6th in the nation when it comes to the percentage of possessions where their opponents turn the ball over. It's like 27% of their opponents' possessions result in a turnover. So West Virginia can also force turnovers. Their average per game isn't as high, but they're up there when it comes to average possessions with turnovers. Their opponents just don't get as many possessions. As you can see, UAB scores 83 points a game almost. So obviously their opponents are getting a lot more possessions than West Virginia. So that kind of skews that number a little bit. But some other key stats here for UAB especially, and just to show how good their defense is. UAB, they lead the nation in steals at 146 total steals on the season, which is 13.3 steals a game. That's also first in the country. And then they're 7th in the nation in scoring margin, which, scoring margin is points they've scored versus points they're allowing. So their defense is just really good, and they're also a good offensive rebounding team. They're 23rd in the country in offensive rebounds a game at 13.5. So West Virginia's really got their work cut out for them. And when you look at that, that really shows you why UAB is favored in this game, is because they're just so good defensively. They also like to full court press after made shots, so they're going to likely put pressure on West Virginia. And usually a team who presses well does not handle the press well. So and West Virginia's point guards have not been doing as good a job handling the ball as of late. Their turnover margin, their assist to turnover ratio is only 1-to-1, and that's not just one guy. All 3 point guards that they have that get significant minutes, Malik Curry, Kobe Johnson, and Kedrian Johnson, all of them have about a 1-to-1 assist to turnover ratio. And you do not want that in your point guard. Your point guards need to be doing a better job of taking care of the basketball. For West Virginia, you've got Taz Sherman averaging 21.8 points per game and 3.2 assists per game, and leads the team in both of those categories. You've got Sean McNeill averaging 13.2 points per game, shooting 35% from 3. And then you've got Jalen Bridges leading the team with 5 rebounds per game, but he's only averaging 7.4 points a game, which is lower than we anticipated. McNeill and Sherman are the only 2 averaging double digits for the Mountaineers, and that's something that really needs to change. They need a third guy to step up and start scoring the basketball. For UAB, they're led by Jordan Walker, a junior guard who's averaging 16.4 points per game and 4.6 assists per game, and he's shooting 43% from the floor. He's shooting 43% from 3, 39% from the field overall. So he's actually shooting better from 3 than he is from 2. And then you've got Michael Ertel, 10 points a game on 35% from 3, and Trey Jemison, a 7-foot center, averaging 7.4 points and 8 rebounds and 1.7 blocks a game. That's probably the 3 leaders on the team. As you can see, Ertel and Jackson can both shoot the 3-ball really well. Let's look at keys of victory for each team. First, for the visiting West Virginia Mountaineers, you've got they need to defend the 3-ball well. I was reading up on this game, and one thing that stood out to me was UAB is undefeated, 7-0, when they make at least 7 3-pointers in a game. So West Virginia needs to do a really good job of defending the 3-point shot and keep UAB's 3-point makes under 7 to have a better chance to win. West Virginia obviously can't turn the ball over. We know that UAB is probably going to put some full court pressure on them. They need to take care of the basketball. They need to do a better job rebounding. West Virginia needs to control the tempo. We know that West Virginia doesn't like to get up and run as much, especially on offense, as UAB does. So if they can slow the game down, control the tempo a little bit, that should help give them a better chance to win. And obviously they need to make free throws. They're not shooting the ball well from the foul line right now. They're only shooting 60% as a team from the free throw stripe. So they need to do a better job making free throws. And then for UAB, they need to force West Virginia to turn it over. They need to get that's what they do. That's what they're good at. If they can force West Virginia making mistakes, obviously they have a better chance to win. They're going to get a lot more possessions and more points that way. They need to score. They need to make shots, shoot a high percentage, so that they can set up their full court pressure more, which will help force West Virginia turnovers. They don't need to let Taz Sherman beat them. Taz Sherman is really the only major scoring threat West Virginia's got right now. He's been able to find ways to score pretty much at any time. From 3, from 2, driving it to the hoop, posting up, whatever. He can score from anywhere on the court pretty much. And I think UAB needs to force somebody else to beat them besides Taz Sherman, because so far this year they've not proven they can do it. And then UAB also needs to take care of the ball, because West Virginia also likes to put pressure on, even if it's not full court. They like to put pressure on the half court. So UAB needs to protect the basketball as well. And then let's get to my score prediction for this game. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be in the 70s. I don't think UAB is going to get that 80 mark that they normally hit, that 82 mark, because I think West Virginia's defense is going to be better than any team they've played. But however, I do think they're going to get some turnovers because of West Virginia's inability to protect the ball as of late, and their point guard struggling with turnovers. I think that does not bode well for West Virginia. I think UAB gets more possessions, therefore they're going to get more opportunities, and I do think they're going to win this game, but only by 2 points. I think UAB wins the game 76-74 in Birmingham. Not going to be a lot of people there probably, because UAB's bowl game is going to be on about the same time. So there's a little bit of a time conflict there with this game for UAB's basketball team, so they're probably not going to get the home court advantage they would normally get. But I just think matchup-wise, it bodes well for UAB. They win by 2, 76-74. Let me know in the comment section what you think. Please drop your score prediction in the comments. Let me know. I'd love to see your predictions, and also that helps me out. It helps with that YouTube algorithm, as well as the like button, which I mentioned earlier, and the subscriptions. I'm getting closer to that 1,000 mark. I ask that you please do that if you haven't yet. There's a link in the description box where you can go to buy your Fanatics apparel. That would also help me out, help support my channel. If you want to watch this video right here, for more college basketball content. I appreciate you tuning in. Q Country Roads.